Welcome everyone, this is Nevin here, and in this video I just want to do a demo of Autobidder, how to connect it to how to connect it to Zapier, and then using Zapier, how to connect Autobidder to your CRM or any other kind of automation tools that you may use, such as ClickSend to send automated text messages, automated emails, and things of that nature. Probably the most useful thing is going to be connecting it to your CRM. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that briefly here. It's very simple. This is a brand new feature. It's actually not technically ready yet. We haven't shipped it yet, so you can't actually do this yet. The current date is August 3rd, so we'll see how we need to iron some things out. But eventually, depending on when you're viewing this, it should be about ready. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and obviously, if you're familiar with Zapier, just go create a Zap. Now, I am working on making this even easier by creating Zapier templates. And so essentially the way a Zapier template would work is inside of the Autobidder app, I'm going to pre-create all of the connections such as Markate. Well, Markate maybe not so much because they're not on top of their game when it comes to Zapier, because you have to actually anyway, yeah, if you use Markate Zapier, you understand what I mean. But I will work on creating as many as I can, like Jobber, House Call Pro, some of those CRM platforms. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. Obviously, the first thing you're going to do is search up Autobidder inside of Zapier. You're going to choose Autobidder, and for this case, we're going to do Get Price. You could also do new booking. So when somebody books a job inside of Autobidder, you can have it set to automatically, send that data or whatever. That part's a little bit trickier because some CRMs may not give you the functionality or the ability to manipulate the schedule inside using Zapier. So that one may not be as useful. But for Get Price, we're going to choose this. Now, all you're going to do is connect your Zapier or your Autobidder account to Zapier by logging in. So I'm going to go ahead and enter my email right here. And then obviously you have to enter your password and click yes, continue. Okay, now our Autobidder account has been connected. So we're going to click continue. It's going to run a test. Just make sure it's pulling that data in, and it is pulling in data. So that's good. The most recent one. So we're going to continue with selected. Now for Sheets, I'm just going to go open a new Google Sheets, and I'm going to call this Autobidder. We're going to call this Autobidder Leads Test. Let's just call this name. We'll go name, phone, email, address. And then we'll go back into Zapier. We'll go Sheets. And then we're going to go ahead and create new spreadsheet row. Click continue. It's going to have us choose an account, just like with Autobidder. It's going to have us choose our Google account that we're using. Now we're going to have to find a drive, find that spreadsheet, make sure I give this a name, Autobidder Leads Test. Boom, it's right there. Now I'm showing you this in Google Sheets, but the same process applies to all CRMs. Like if you have used Zapier before, or you're on top of your stuff when it comes to automation, then you'll know what this process is. If you're not familiar with Zapier, there's a ton of tutorials. I don't want to make this a Zapier tutorial necessarily. I'm sort of assuming you already know how to use Zapier. It's super easy to use. But with that being said, I just want to make that clear. All right, so now let's go ahead and select sheet 1. And now this is how we're actually going to connect the data. So the name is going to be the name pulled in from Autobidder. The phone is going to be the phone number. The email address will be the email. And then the address. Now, I think in that one I did not actually enter an address, so it is empty, but let's see. Right there it is. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and click continue. And then we want to test it. Now, if everything's working properly, it should send that data to that Google Sheet. So you see it just sent that URL or that data. Now, I'm going to go in and test this again just to make sure. I'm going to go run Autobidder. And The API calls once every 5 minutes, so it may not pull in immediately. That's the one thing that's like not super cool about it, is that the API is called every 5 minutes. So if you get a lead, let's say in a 5 minute interval, you get 3 leads and they don't come through right away. Once that API call hits, then all three of those leads will show up. So it's not like instantaneous. I'm going to see if we could work on making that faster, but 5 minutes right now is really not a big deal for most people. Um, but let me go ahead and turn this on. So I'm just going to go ahead and publish this Zap. Um, and It's untitled right now. I'm actually going to call this Autobidder tests. And then now that it's on, let's go ahead and do another test. So like I said, right now we have the Bob URL, we ran a phone number, and you'll notice if we go to the leads, that should correlate with the most recent lead, which is Bob. Of course, these are empty leads right here. That's another small little thing we're fixing. Problem is right now when you have inside of Autobidder, if you have lead collector turned off, which I often do, it'll still create like a ghost lead. So little tiny bug that is going to be fairly simple for us to fix. But for this example, I'm going to turn the lead collector on, and now we're going to go through and let's just select a random service. Actually, let's go select roof cleaning. Click next. For the house square footage, let's just say 1900. It's 2 stories, shingle, medium, and we're getting into the lead info. So we'll call this, I'll just say Nevi. We'll say Nevi. And we'll put in the South Street. Now let's click get price, just as usual. Autobidder, is doing the thing, and then we go back. And like I said, the automation does not go through immediately. So let me check. I did get the email saying you may have heard the notification that a new lead came through. But again, the API calls it once every 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, this should automatically go through. But let's go test Zapier real quick. I'm going to go ahead and edit this, and I'm essentially all I'm going to do is test it again. Let's see here, test. Oh, actually, I got to come up here first. My fault. Well, let's try that. Okay, let's go up here. We're going to go ahead and test and find new records. And then you can see Zapier is pulling in Nevi Shields. So continue with selected record. All I'm doing right here is basically speeding the process up so I don't have to sit here and wait for 5 minutes. We're going to retest this action. You see it pulls in Nevi Shields. This is all happening inside of Zapier. Bingo. Now if we go in here, now I tested the action again earlier, so I added Bob URL again, but now you're seeing it added Nevi Shields. Now you'll notice the address field is still empty. The reason this is because this uses the Google Maps API. So essentially what it does is it, if you put like the street name, you need to put the street name, and then you need to also put the city. You don't need to put the zip code every time. And what it will do is it'll tell if it's a real location or not, and then it'll auto-populate the address. If the address entered is not a real address, then it won't pull it in. So one thing to keep in mind about the address needs to be entered correctly. But as you can see, it enters the lead information here, and now you can see how you can apply the same concept to Markate, Jobber, House Call Pro, whatever CRM you're using to send this data directly to your CRM. So that's pretty much it, guys. Appreciate you watching. Thanks for, hope you have a great day, and talk to you soon.